Howdy, welcome back. Fast food joints have a wide array of delicious sweet treats available, but some are taken off the menu, never to be seen again. Some of these desserts can only manage a test run. Customers might think they're too weird, taste terrible, or TikTok fans might make viral trends out of them. Either way, fast food is among my favorite subjects, so let's chat about the failed or cancelled fast food desserts. Let's begin. For the 10th delicious dessert, the McDonald's McBakery. In 2023, it was all over the news, or the news that had nothing better to talk about anyway. The end of the McDonald's Bakery. For a few years, the bakery offered 3 fine, piping hot items: the apple fritter, the blueberry muffin, and the cinnamon roll. The apple fritter was cinnamon-covered apples, fried and covered in a sugary glaze, and the cinnamon roll was drizzled with cream cheese icing and served warm. But in July that year, all 3 were suddenly discontinued, and a lot of people were not too happy with this news.
Someone, please
wake me up from this nightmare. I've done nothing to deserve this. Oh, hi, Nan.
Hey, Dennis.
Many more spoke of the distress of their loss on social media.
This time, McDonald's have gone way too far. This is McDonald's worst decision in years. McDonald's, if you get rid of the cinnamon roll, there will be chaos.
Do we have sources on this? Right, okay. So apparently when the cinnamon roll was discontinued, there wasn't chaos. I know, I was worried too there. And every news outlet had the same joke when this was announced.
I'm not loving it.
When reached for comment, a McDonald's representative said,
"We're always listening to what our fans crave, so we're phasing out our McCafe Bakery lineup. Yeah."
That's their way of saying it didn't sell well enough. And this does make some sense to me, as I've seen these McBakery items in stock since 2020. McDonald's aim with these was to offer more handheld and easy to serve foods during the pandemic. But never once in those 3 years did I see anyone holding or eating an apple fritter, a blueberry muffin, or a cinnamon roll. So who's to blame for this? Well, me, I guess, for not buying them. I guess when most people want a bakery item, they go to a bakery or maybe a donut shop. I go to Tim Hortons if I'm in Canada, or Brumby's Bakery if I'm in Australia. The Today Show thought maybe the bakery items were taken off the market because the world was opening up again, and I think that's a fair assumption. Hey, number 9. The Grimace Shake. Grimace. For some reason, this purple monstrosity of nature is a media darling. Social media just loves this guy. Perhaps recognizing this, McDonald's celebrated the very iconic occasion of Grimace's 52nd birthday. Not his 50th, his 52nd birthday, which is clearly more iconic. And the shake was swiftly cancelled at the end of Grimace's birthday celebration. But even if it was brief, it received a viral social media craze. The shake itself consisted of vanilla soft serve and berry flavors. That's it. McDonald's doesn't really do complicated. I guess they chose berry flavors because Grimace is the color purple, and I guess that makes Grimace a berry. I don't know, I thought it was more pear-shaped. Anyway, and according to Wikipedia, Grimace loves milkshakes. Did we ever establish that? I mean, we know Hamburglar loves hamburgers.
Oh, you're the Hamburglar!
But it was a thing that Grimace loves milkshakes? I know he loves Storyland, but I get the appeal as the Grimace from my childhood was pretty nostalgic. I still remember the Grimace mascot appearing in all these ads with Ronald. My personal favorite was Grimace in Storyland. That stuff was great.
Wow, I'm in Storyland!
Anyway, Gen Zers were loving this shake, or at least the creative ways they could make videos out of it. Probably not the taste. Some TikTokers and YouTubers were seeing millions of views with just talking about the Grimace Shake and drinking it. It was known as the hashtag Grimace Shake trend. They'd drink the shake, then oftentimes they'd find themselves in ominous, horror-like situations. Or sometimes they'd even be found unconscious, covered in the drink.
I'm just making sure these kids don't take a sip of my milkshake.
Anyway, for a short time, the trend was powerful advertising for McDonald's. So Grimace was popular on social media for maybe 1 month. Then, like most often, I guess people moved on to something else. Or maybe people actually tried tasting the grapey concrete mixture they'd been watching videos of. Well, you see, according to many reviewers, the taste was rather bad. When customers asked, the staff would often say it tastes like Grimace. Ew. But when customers drank it, reviewers like Rachel from Elite Daily said,
I'm not a fan of this confusing flavour. It's very fruity and artificial tasting. I don't like it.
Insider didn't care for it much either.
I can't figure this confusing flavor out. Artificial and ultimately overwhelming.
So many reviewers were just perplexed on how to describe the flavor beyond it tastes like purple. Though there was some positive reception, like this Twitter post here.
It tastes like Fruity Pebbles, fire symbol.
Or this post here.
So good. It tastes like fruity cream pies.
So despite the bad taste, Grimace had shaken the internet. McDonald's described the trend as brilliant creativity and peak absurdist Gen Z humor. And yeah, I think it's a fair description. 1 billion views later, Grimace finally saw what was happening on TikTok. And needless to say, he was a little freaked out. He responded on TikTok and Twitter with this.
Me pretending I didn't see the Grimace Shake trended.
Yeah, I'm pretty weirded out too, pal. And for number 8, the Choco Tacos from Taco Bell. I have no idea how this one didn't last. It's like one of those choc tops you get at the movie theater, but taco shaped. Taco Bell's no stranger to some sweet treats to go along with your burrito. They've got cinnamon twist, caramel apple pastry pockets, cookie sandwiches, and of course the churro, a Spanish delicacy. But the ice cream company Klondike collaborated with Taco Bell to bring us these Choco Tacos. But sadly, they were discontinued in 2022. Much to the dismay of Twitter fans. But my big question is, how did they actually taste? They look great. Well, they're essentially vanilla ice cream in a sugar taco with milk chocolate coating. What did taste testers say? Well, Good Mythical Morning chowed into this one. Let's see what they said. They called it complex, and that's it.
There's a lot to experience.
Many layers.
Complex.
Which doesn't tell us much. So what did other taste testers think? The sweatpants taster compared it to drumstick ice cream.
I love the combination of the cone, ice cream, the chocolate and peanuts all in one bite. The drumstick wishes it could do this.
I miss that nutty chocolate fusion. It sounds delightful. You can understand why many Twitter fans are upset by it disappearing. But the ice cream company Salt and Straw recently announced they're making a new version of the chocolate taco, coming to their stores instead. So at least we'll have an option, though their version is coated with toasted brown rice, which doesn't sound as appealing to me as, say, ice cream not coated in brown rice. And they've only been made temporarily available in Disneyland and 7 other cities. Either way, I am legitimately disappointed I've never got to try a chocolate ice cream taco. And for Lucky 7, the Jack in the Box Bacon Milkshake. A meat-flavored milkshake. Who in their right mind makes this? Do you remember the bacon sundae? The sundae with bacony bits in it? Well, Jack in the Box saw this and said, hey, how can we make this even grosser? Bacon sundaes just aren't outrageous enough. Both were made in 2012. I guess 2012 was the year of stupid food ideas.
The new Kit Kat Pops from Pizza Hut.
According to this Twitter post from Jack himself,
It's sweet and salty. I call it swalty.
Jack, I hate to break it to you, good sir, but it looks as nightmarish as you. And the chains certainly lack confidence in the item. As according to ABC News, the shake was a secret menu item. This bacon horror wasn't listed on any menus at restaurants. In fact, the chain had so little confidence that it came with a disclaimer that the drink is, quote-unquote, as limited can be. And when your drink comes out colored like century-old lead paint, well, who can blame them? I found a taste test for the shake from many years ago in an old blog from the Impulsive Buy. According to their review,
It's damn intriguing, but also gross and I'm scared of it. Oh dear, I just gagged. It smells smoky.
the smokiness probably comes from the shake's bacon-flavored syrup, because apparently that was a thing when they tried tasting it.
It's not repulsive. Yay! It wasn't overpowering either. It just had a creamy smokiness. Weirdly, it tasted like coffee at the back end.
Based on the lackluster reviews I found, I doubt this bacon milkshake will ever make a return. And some reviewers said it lacked that deliciously salty, fatty flavor of your standard bacon sundae. It was 773 calories anyway, so probably not your doctor's first recommendation. Number 6. The ChickfilA Cheesecake. I'm intrigued by the ultra-religious chicken sandwich place attempting a cheesecake. What's it like? Well, I think I know why they stick to chicken sandwiches now. If this post is believed, it looks like a paper bag, and it tastes like a paper bag. According to this review anyway. But another review site had much warmer reviews.
It has a rich flavour that is the result of high-quality cream cheese and vanilla. It's very moist and smooth in texture.
So clearly this cheesecake was missed by some people. According to MASH, this New York-style cheesecake was pulled from Chick-fil-A in 2012. They claimed they wanted to make room for new desserts like cookies and brownies. I think it would have been more difficult to store cheesecake and serve it by the slice as well. I gotta say though, this cheesecake probably had the tiniest following of fans I've ever found on a fast food. I mean, even the bacon sundae is more missed than this thing. Now, almost every discontinued fast food or snack has its own change.org petition, because that's what change.org is for. Discontinued desserts. But only a total of 23 fans actually wanted the Chick-fil-A cheesecake to come back.
That's for the fan to decide.
Yay!
And to those 23 fans, my condolences. I think you should come together and have a cheesecake party. And you know, you could all put some money in and order a decent cheesecake. Number 5. The Ding Dong Ice Cream Sandwich from Carl's Jr. Well, it's not the most appealing name for an ice cream sandwich, is it? I understand Hostess came up with the name back in 1967.
Hostess Ding Dongs, you'll love them.
But I just never pictured this small spherical goat turd called Ding Dong to make an attractive dessert. Supposedly, this one was inspired by the Carl's Jr. Strawberry Pop-Tart ice cream sandwich. And I guess after they managed to sell that, they thought, hey, clearly we can sandwich an ice cream between anything. The result was, well, I rarely see a dessert this blatantly fugly. Fun fact, originally I put this Ding Dong sandwich on the thumbnail, but people kept going,
It's so ugly. Put it away.
I'm sorry, here's a picture of a goat instead. The Ding Dong itself has been a staple American snack cake for decades now. Basically, a small, unsightly chocolate cake with a creamy, marshmallow-like filling. But hey, maybe it tastes better than it looks. Food Beast tried it.
It's pretty darn tasty, but it's exactly what it sounds like. A ding-dong chocolate cake filled with ice cream.
When I checked YouTube, the taste testing was approximately 50% ding-dong jokes, but for the other 50%...
I like that it's got the softness of the ding dong, but it's so messy. I had to eat it over a trash can.
Geez, that'd be a disaster for the car taste testers.
I don't want this thing to melt all over us.
No one likes the messiness, but my favorite impression was probably from this person here.
It tastes like summer at the pool.
Like summer at the pool. It just really evokes an image, taste, and memory to me. Overall, the tasters were pretty pleased, and if they'd fixed the messiness, it might have been a pleasant, portable, crowd-pleasing dessert. Number 4. The Cupcake Sundae Shake from Burger King. Cupcakes and sundae ice cream. That actually sounds like a delicious combination. Unfortunately, appearance-wise, it's yellow. According to sources, it's apparently meant to look like yellow cake. But as an ex-toilet cleaner, I don't really find the term yellow cake appetizing. Burger King made the Cupcake Shake way back in 2010 to try and compete with the popular shakes over at McDonald's. For some reason, there was this huge cupcake craze around 2010. Another good example that year was the Pebbles Cupcake cereal. But much like the Cupcake Pebbles, the Cupcake Sundae Shake was quickly discontinued. The shake was a pretty straightforward recipe. You've got the milkshake itself, combined with whipped topping, cupcake icing, and sprinkles. Sounds like a very sweet combo. What do people think? Well, we're looking back at the ancient days of 2010, so we'll have to look at some old internet blogs. Donut for Dinner did a taste test. What did they think?
It tastes like eggnog, but the whipped cream is so dense that it sinks to the bottom of the shake.
The Impulsive Buy noted it tastes like eggnog too. And Cake.
It tasted like I was eating yellow cake batter, except without the possibility of getting my tongue stuck in a hand mixer. And it brought back memories of those days when my classmates would call me Cupcake Face.
What an odd nickname. Anyway, despite some fans missing it, the Cupcake Shake barely lasted a year before being discontinued. But hey, points for creativity, Burger King. Hey, number 3. Woo. McDonald's Cherry Pies. Despite Mickey D's now being known for their warm apple pie.
Like warm apple pie.
No, not that one. These ones. The cherry pie is a staple in North America and Canada. Typically they're made on Canada Day, which is harvest season. And those bright cherry pies were on the McDonald's menu for a long time, despite them not really containing a whole lot of cherries. So I guess they weren't technically cherry pies, more like sugary red coloring pies. Despite this, people seemed to love them. There was even a song about them. Customers would often bite into their cherry pie after their Big Mac or Quarter Pounder. Yet in 1992, they decided to completely replace the quote-unquote cherry pie with apple pie. Why? Well, they had a very rocky history. There was a lot of noise about them being too hot or not cherry enough.
Careful, McDonald's apple pies are always a little hot.
So I didn't really get a lot of cherry flavor, maybe just a little bit.
Both perfectly fair complaints. One example of them being too hot was described in this meme.
If you are not old enough, let me assure you, this pie was served at the surface temperature of planet Mercury.
The issue even got a comment from a staff member.
I remember burning myself every time I heated these bad boys up.
And I agree, as a kid, I burnt my tongue on these all the time. And given McDonald's record with coffee, it doesn't surprise me one of their other foods was way too hot. Then of course there was a whole not cherry pie issue. Back in the 70s there was a big debacle from our friends at the Food and Drug Administration. The FDA was called to investigate incidents of economic deception, which was their fancy pants way of saying the cherry pies weren't cherry enough. In order to be considered a cherry pie, cherry pies had to be at least 25% cherries. And you know, that seems perfectly fair. But McDonald's was failing to manage to make their cherry pies even a quarter cherry. According to the Consumers Union report, some cherry pies did not even contain half a cherry. Oh come on Maccas, this is a new low even for you guys. But in reality, none of this was the true downfall of the sugary red coloring pie. You see, the original red pie was fried. And when McDonald's began baking their pies in the 90s, sales plummeted on the pies. According to The Sun, one employee said,
"Cherry pies were very low turnover. You may like them, but when we only sell like 10 of them a day, it's tough to justify keeping them on the menu."
And what's our delish number 2 choice? The Breeze from Dairy Queen. The 90s. We had Britney Spears, Aqua, glow-in-the-dark stars, and Froyo, aka frozen yogurt. Back then, everything had to be low fat, and frozen yogurt promised just that. In more recent years, society transitioned into a more low sugar craze, realizing that excessive sugar could be just as bad as excessive fats. And I do like that consumers are offered more low sugar products, but I've no idea why the low calorie phase has never taken off the same way as the low sugar and low fat craze. Anyway, many years ago when Netflix just began, Ted Danson stated a truth about frozen yogurt that has stayed with me to this day. You know, from The Good Place and Becker if you're old as me.
What's a food that people think they enjoy, but that's also kind of a bummer?
Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt has always been kind of a bummer to me too.
It's just okay, which means it's perfect.
It's just okay. But years ago, Dairy Queen began to offer frozen yogurt, aka Breeze, as a healthier alternative to soft-serve ice cream. And I respect the idea of the Breeze. The Breeze was essentially a Dairy Queen Blizzard, but with frozen yogurt instead of ice cream. And the Breeze only contained like 5% milk fat. as opposed to the usual 10 to 15% in most ice cream. The Breeze was even available with fruit on top. Sounds delish. And I do wish more low-calorie options like this were offered to people in fast food chains, not just the choice between a 700-calorie burger or a 1,000-calorie burger. Unfortunately, fast food chains have just never managed to lower the calories in their supposed healthy items. Like, your typical fast food salad is more calories than a Big Mac. Might as well just enjoy the Big Mac. Anyway, because when fast food does seem to make a healthier option like the Breeze, they just can't seem to get people to enjoy the taste. And that's what happened here. People just didn't seem to like the taste of Breeze that much. It's froyo. It's just okay. It seems like unless fast food joints lace their foods in salt, butter, and sugar, most customers just can't taste any real flavor in them. So yeah, the Breeze tanked primarily because they just couldn't sell them. In fact, sales on the Breeze were so low that their stored frozen yogurt kept spoiling. And despite low sales, they tried to offer it for a long time, 10 years in fact. And good on Dairy Queen for trying to offer a healthier dessert option for that long. And before number 1, what are our honorable mentions? The Bacon Sundae from Burger King. Since I talked about this thing in the stupidest fast foods, I left it off the list. But there are a surprising amount of fans to the Bacon Sundae. Some people commented they seemed to like the sweet, fatty, and salty combination. That's supposedly the flavor they got when they put bacon and ice cream together. And it's worth pointing out that some people pushed this myth of fast food ice cream containing pig fat for a long time. But this is a case where ice cream actually contains pig fat, because they're literally sprinkling pig fat on top of the sundae. The Fruit Loops milkshake from Burger King. Burger King coarsely chopped up some Fruit Loops and stuffed them in a soft serve shake with sweet sauce and whipped cream. Boom! Nostalgic overload. And possibly blood sugar overload. I like the way Junk Banter described the taste of this one.
The second sip is a comforting, familiar flavour that tastes like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Pizza Hut Hershey Dunkers. What a strange look. It's essentially Pizza Hut breadsticks with what looks like Cocoa Krispies, aka Cocoa Pops, with mixed nuts on the top. As to why these ones were discontinued, it's hard to say. But according to a staff member on Reddit,
they probably didn't sell well. I remember I made less than 5 of them.
A customer commented they were only good straight out of the oven, but after only 10 minutes they were rock hard and gross. Yeah, personally, it looks a little too sweet for my taste. The Unicorn Frappuccino from Starbucks. Oh, I so wanted to include this beautifully colored drink in the list. Look at this gorgeous thing. My thumbnail was inspired by just this rainbow effect. Unfortunately, the Unicorn Frappuccino was one of Starbucks' worst received Frappuccinos. So what went wrong? Well, the unicorn was made out of ice, milk, pink powder, sour blue powder, cream frappuccino syrup, mango syrup, and blue drizzle. And after this massive cocktail of combinations was released, it was panned by health critics. Health experts didn't like that it had 500 calories and 76 grams of sugar. But honestly, to me, that doesn't sound like that much for a frappuccino. I thought frappuccinos were meant to be sugary and unhealthy. Frappuccinos aren't exactly made for health enthusiasts. It was quickly apparent that the drink was made more for Instagram photos than actual drinking, as one hit of this thing would keep some people up for a week. And with that, on to number 1. And for our number 1 failed dessert, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup McFlurry from McDonald's. When it comes to McDonald's desserts, I think there's 3 ranking tiers of indulgence. Tier 1 of indulgence is the simple vanilla soft serve. Tier 2 is a sundae made with some nice caramel or chocolate syrup. Tier 3 of ultimate dessert indulgence is the McFlurry. 803 calories of pure, undiluted sweetness. So why not make it an even sweeter indulgence and sprinkle some peanut butter cups on top? Personally, I wouldn't sleep that night. The recipe for this one was pretty straightforward. Soft serve ice cream mixed with broken up pieces of peanut butter cups, mixed in that traditional McFlurry style. This thing was the real deal. This short-lived wonder was considered the ultimate McFlurry flavor for so many people. Delish.com even ranked it as the number 1 best McFlurry flavor of all time, according to them.
It's distinctly creamy meets flurry peanut butter. When spread through a soft serve, it reaches new heights of deliciousness.
Good vanilla, very sweet.
Strangely, this McFlurry seems to appear sporadically across countries. For example, according to this comment, it appeared in Dubai briefly back in 2023. It also appeared briefly in my country, Australia, in 2019. Back in 2012, it appeared and disappeared like a ninja in the USA. It even appeared in South Korea in 2016, selling at 2,701. Unfortunately, despite it being such a huge hit, I cannot find any reason on the web why it just keeps disappearing across countries. Given it's more loved than the Oreo or M&M's flavor, my guessing is it might be a licensing issue with Reese's. But that hasn't stopped fans from rallying to get it back. Like the McRib, the Reese's McFlurry was a huge hit. Facebook groups and Twitter accounts have been made to try and prompt McDonald's to bring it back.
Hashtag justice for Reese's.
So how's it taste? Luckily, Old Nerd Reviews tried it back in 2015, eating it of course in the car, as is the taste tester tradition. He described it as very rich and very creamy.
It's nice big chunks of peanut butter pieces you can sink your teeth into.
Impulsive buyer was less impressed.
The distinctive Reese's peanut butter flavor is lost. It's as if the vanilla soft serve is the flavor vampire.
But most agreed it had a leg up on the traditional Oreo and M&M's McFlurries we're used to. So it remains a mystery to me why the favorite McFlurry flavor just mysteriously disappears and appears. And if you think I missed a fun discontinued flavor, or you'd like to see any other particular food topics, feel free to let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I might see you next time. I was lucky enough to have lots of member questions this week, so we'll do two today. The first is from Xenon VA. They also do my captions. They ask, what do you consider your comfort foods? I think peanut butter is my favorite food ever, so sometimes I'll just have some peanut butter on warm bread. After a long day, I might also enjoy a low sugar cocoa, often sweetened with stevia or aspartame. For dinner, I'll often cook up a satay chicken or fish stir fry with spinach and peanut butter, or a kangaroo chow mein. The next question is from Charizard. They ask, what's the best part about being on YouTube? Well, it might sound corny, but the best part to me is the feeling that some people's days are genuinely made better because I release a video. It's one of the main things that helps me get out of bed, thinking I'm actually cheering someone up. And I definitely prefer working for myself rather than a boss micromanaging me. I don't miss that. Thanks for the questions.